What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you a first impressions on the Natasha Denona bronze palette. As you can see, I've already had my grubby fingers all over this palette. I did go ahead and pick this up at Beautylish. Right now, if you didn't already know, or if you do know, I am currently on a no buy when it comes to makeup and skincare. And basically I gave myself a couple of outs, and one of the outs was to use my Beautylish my Beautylish gift card that I got at one of their discount events towards a purchase if I really felt like I needed to get something from Beautylish. And I've been teeter-tottering over purchasing various things, and this was just something that I really felt like would just add some value to my collection. I wanted to add some more Natasha Denona. I wanted to try more of her matte formula, and I wanted more of her shimmer formula. These are all different shades compared to the palette that I have from her. I will be getting that in a second and showing you guys some comparisons, but just very happy overall about this palette. And I got it for $5 basically, so your girl ain't mad at it. There are quite a few shades. So there are 15 shades in this palette, and there is a lot less product. You can purchase this palette, like I said, on Beautylish, Sephora, and I believe Natasha Denona's website. I will try and remember to link all of the various places you can purchase it down below. You get, like I said, 15 eyeshadows, and each eyeshadow has 0.67 ounces of product in it, and this apparently has a 2-year shelf life. Now, as for my other Natasha Denona, I have one of her original 28 pan palettes that really threw off the color balance on my camera. That's funny. And I have the purple blue palette. I picked this up because purples and blues are some of my favorites to apply on my eyelids, and I just really wanted to try it. I got this for a pretty decent price. I got this somewhere in the $100. That's how much I paid for this. You did not get many mattes in this formula, or in this palette, which is why I wanted to get another palette from Natasha Denona that provided me with more mattes. I will say the metallics in this palette are outstanding, and I just overall truly enjoy this palette. So going into it, I really wanted to get more use out of her mattes from this palette, just to round out my Natasha Denona matte formula and like collection. And you only get 5 mattes from this particular palette. Today I actually used one of her satin shades. I felt like without that shade this look would have just been a little moot. You will see that in the video, but what I do want to do really quickly is just go ahead and swatch all these shadows for you. I don't know, when I'm filming this, nobody, well granted, let me round back. I don't follow very many people who have my complexion on YouTube, just because not many people have my same interest when it comes to makeup purchasing. If you know of another black YouTuber that is my complexion, that you think I would be interested in watching, please do link or at least tell me their YouTube channel down below. I really want to robust my subscription when it comes to people my complexion, but that's pretty much a reason why I created this channel. Anyways, sidetracked. I want to swatch these shadows for you guys in case you only follow me and you have a similar complexion, or there's nobody else in your subscription feed as well that has my complexion and you would like to know how all these shadows actually work. I did of course use these shadows to create this look on my eyes, but I didn't use all of them, so I want to swatch it for you. So I'm gonna go row by row and we're just gonna start. So the first shade I'm gonna be swatching is True Copper, and this is one of the foiled metallics that I was talking about. And this is just beautiful. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the shadow at all. Next you have, what does that say? Suntan, which is one of her darker mattes, not the darkest, but it is a deepish brown. And there you go. In the inside of my arm, that definitely does show up on my complexion. Like if I chose to switch to the other side, I'm not sure that that would honestly show up as much as it does on the inside of my arm. Next we have Sundown, and Sundown is like a peachy transition or creased color. It does have a brown base though, just a very nice peachy undertone to it. I'm not sure that you guys can see that shade with the lighting situation going on. Next we have Deep Dive, which is the shade that I felt really carried this look, really helped this look to come together. It is definitely a satin, no doubt about it, but honestly, in my opinion, it does not look like a satin when it's blended out in my crease. Last shade in this row, we have Rhodium, and this is a beauty. This is a purple, I would say shimmer with blue glitter in it. Very pretty. This is yet again another shade that I'm wearing today. I'm wearing it on my lower kind of half of my lid. Second row, we have Magma, which is the darkest matte in this palette. And for me, this is an okay depth, but I would have loved if this was darker, because to me this is just a really good crease color. It's not really deep, and you pretty much, depending on how close you are to my eyeball, you can't really see it. It's pretty much a crease color for me. Then I have High Degree, and this is the shade that is on the top half of my lid, and this is a red with gold flecking in it all throughout. Then we have Alloy, and Alloy is a really, really pretty orange metallic with, of course, gold flecks all throughout. This is just a perfect, like, you know, sunrise type shade or something like that. Then we have Ridge, which was what I thought was going to be like the perfect mustard from Natasha Denona, and honestly a little disappointed after applying this on my eye. I still have a bit to test out, but it just didn't really pop on my eye like I thought. But this is the true mustard in this palette. Last shadow in this row is True Bronze, and this is an actual metallic shadow in this palette, and this is just honestly a beautiful, beautiful foiled bronzy shade with some silver flecks going throughout it. Last row, we have the shade Gloaming, and this is another kind of metallic-y shade. This is a pink with gold flecking or reflect in there as well. Very, very pretty shade. Then we have Palladium, and this is like a bronzy shade, more of a true bronze with like maybe like a, I would say, a red kind of undertone to it, just slight. Then we have Bliss, and this is actually the shade that I have in my inner corner, and this surprised me greatly because I was expecting this to be like a light pinky red, which is the base, but there is a very strong green duochrome aspect to it, and so it pretty much, when I was applying it, only looked like a green in my inner corner. Then we have, what does that say? Silk. And Silk is another really beautiful metallic bronze, and this is kind of one of the more foiled metallic bronzes in the whole palette. And then last we have Beach, and this is more of a pinky crease color. I would say maybe like a pinky peachy brown, but I don't really see too much brown in there. It just feels a lot more pinky peach. So these are all the colors swatched on my complexion right now. I will right now have a more close-up look at the shadows swatched on the other side of my arm, hopefully, so that you guys can see it against kind of my true complexion. Overall, right now, I am a wee bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, but that's just because the depth was not there in the mattes that I really thought and I thought I could see. In addition, the variety in the matte, like the matte Ridge, what is that shade? Sundown and Beach. These three mattes, I really thought that there was going to be a lot more interesting undertones to them, and even Sultan and Magma, I thought there was going to be a lot more yellowy undertones. I mean, those are promo photos. They're going to want you to kind of hope and pray that you get something different, but the metallics are beautiful, I will say that, but just the mattes are just I wish that I could get a palette from her where I like the combination of both the mattes and the shimmers. I'm not saying this is a bad palette. This is quite literally the first day I've opened it. I literally just opened this like maybe 30 minutes ago. So take this with a huge grain of salt, but I just wanted to let you guys know, in case you are like dying and lusting to hear my opinion, I think so far the metallics are definitely winning in this palette, and the mattes are just half-baked things. Honestly, if Deep Dive was not in this palette, I probably wouldn't even give this palette any more time of day, but because it is, and because I'm just interested in seeing what other color schemes and arrangements I can do on my eyeballs, I'm gonna try and do a 3 looks 1 palette after I finish my one that I'm currently in. I should have done the 3rd look today, but I wanted to take the time to do this video so this could go up tomorrow. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, one last thing, this does have the holes on the back so you can pop out the shades, and honestly I've been interested in a couple other shade variants in this packaging. I think I was interested in the Love one, which has more maroon and pinky shades, and then maybe one other. So I might get that and then kind of create my own perfect combination, but it depends on how I overall feel after really giving this palette some really critical evaluation situation. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Oh no, I do want to do one more thing before we truly get into this look. I want to compare the metallics for you guys. So out of my blue purple palette, I would say one of the most foiled shades is this silvery shade. And I'm just gonna swatch it on my finger or my hand. As you can tell, I just went straight on there, right? And I'm gonna do just another one that's not as foily as that one, but I still think is beautiful. And just gonna make sure I take enough product, and we're just gonna swatch it right next to it. Okay, so these are the 2 swatches, and I'm gonna try, let's see if I can figure it out. So the really metallic one is a chromatic, and no, they're both M's, so I think they're both metallics in her collection. So I will autofocus when I get closer so you guys can truly see the difference. Then what I'm gonna do is do one of the more metallic shades in this palette, and this is going to be True Bronze. And I'm just gonna really massage that color into my skin so you guys can really see the impact. And then I'm gonna do one of the kind of drier, less metallic-y situations, and we'll do Bliss. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, so this is from the Natasha Denona blue purple palette, same with this one. This one is from the bronze palette, and same with this one. As you can see, the blue purple palette, this metallic is just insane. A lot more foiled, a lot more impactful. Then you have this one, which isn't necessarily as foiled, but it is, in my opinion, more impactful than either of the 2 shades in the bronze palette. And I chose, in my opinion, the most metallic impacted shadow that she provides for this palette. So for me, overall, this palette, just from first impressions, comparing very quickly, this bronze palette does not have the same metallic formula. I hear from a lot of people who are huge Natasha Denona fans that she keeps going back and forth with her formula. Honestly, if I was her, I would just go back to this really, really nicely foiled metallic goodness, because it would just be a better payoff for her, and I feel like her customers might be more interested. Granted, she is a makeup artist brand, so maybe these just work better for makeup artists and all that jazz, but yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. This has been a super long intro, and I haven't even given you guys an opinion on the look. You guys haven't seen the look. I'm gonna stop talking. I need to edit this so this can get up tomorrow. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing this eye look, let's just get into it. Hey guys, so like I said in the intro, I just got this palette today and I wanted to really just break into it. So I did go ahead and get the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. This is the palette that literally just released on Beautylish and everywhere 2 days ago or something like that. This is the packaging. This is my very first Natasha Denona palette in this format. I have one of her bigger palettes and I used to have one of her mini 5 pans, but I got rid of that one. And just so you guys can see, this is what it looks like inside. So basically you get 5 mattes and the rest are shimmers. I will say, just looking at this palette, the darkest brown is not as dark as I imagined it to be based on the pictures. And some of these warmer tone mattes aren't as warm as I thought they were going to be based on the pictures. But I still want to go ahead and try this palette today with you guys. My coloring is off. Why is it off? There we go. I actually have some color now. Good things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and prime with my NYX glitter glue. As always, I will do my best to have my nail polishes listed down below in case you are interested. So this is probably going to be a pretty easy look. What I think I'm going to do is go into the shade Ridge, which is the warmest kind of mustardy shade. My autofocus is on, sorry about that, but I'm gonna go into Ridge, which is the warmest mustardiest shade in this palette, and there is a bit of kick up. Don't know how well my camera's gonna show now, so I don't think you guys can see, but there is a bit of kick up, just in case you were interested. And now what I'm just gonna do is take that shade Ridge and just put this in my crease. And I am doing my best just to pack the shade on my view. This is basically my skin tone, which can be good or bad. Just more yellow. In the camera, you guys might be seeing a lot more yellow and just seeing a lot more of a difference, but what I'm looking at through my mirror, I don't see that much difference. Why is my coloring off again? So, yeah, I guess that's a good thing, but not really. We will see how this works out. So, I'm just gonna take that shade, and I'm also just putting it down below as well. You basically can't see it. It basically blends in pretty easily with my skin tone. Now, what I'm gonna do, now I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush and I'm gonna go into the darkest shade, which is Magma. And I'm gonna try and use this to deepen out my outer V. Okay, so I am pleasantly happy and surprised at how deep this shade is. I was worried, but this shade is definitely deep enough to do something. And yeah. I'm just going to go back and forth between those two brushes just to blend that out as best as possible. I just feel as though it's not completely blend it out the way I'd want it to. And I do want there to be clear depth. And I'm going to just add some more of the red shade on my original brush just to help. Okay, and now that I'm looking at it, to be quite honest, it looks like the magma shade is literally the same color as my actual eyelid, whereas the red shade is basically the color of like my under eye, or what my skin tone looks like when I have makeup on. So that's interesting. It low-key doesn't look a huge difference, at least in my view, other than this side being matte and this side being oily, because that's what my lid is. Now what I want to do is work on my lid. And this is kind of the aspect of Natasha Denona that I feel like she really does very, very well at. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to go. And I just added some more NYX glitter glue on the back of my hand. I'm just going to apply it on my flat brush, and I'm just going to put it on my lid. I'm not too stressed about this being a perfect cut crease, just because of how kind of blasey blah those crease colors are. It's not like it's gonna look like I basically don't have anything in my crease and I just have something on my lid. So I'm not gonna stress too much about that. It looks like there are a couple of different shades, and what I might do is, I think what I'm going to do is actually go into Deep Dive, which is this dark shimmer, and that is going to be an outer color. I'm going to try and pack that on this outer V area to give even more depth to this look, because otherwise I just feel as though this look is just not going to have much depth or variety to it. And it's probably not the best that I'm doing this with this type of brush, but you know, it's me. And that's how I roll. I'm also just gonna kind of go on the outside of that primer. And I'm gonna take the brush that I had the deepest matte and just use that to really just blend this shade out. I'm just gonna add a little bit more of Magma. I feel like I pretty much lost that shade, and I'm just gonna apply it back onto my eye as I'm continuing to blend out the Deep Dive shade, which actually is working really well in my crease. I think that's more of a satin and not necessarily a shimmer shade. I think it's working very well, actually. And then lastly, I'm just going to take my brush again that had a ridge, and I'm just going to just go over the edges of this whole look. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot more dimension going on now, and I actually am enjoying this look a lot better. Now, like I said, I already have my lid kind of ready to go. I'm sure that a lot of people, I've seen videos up, I haven't looked at them, but I'm sure a lot of people are gonna go for the bronzes. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I wanna go into rhodium, this like bronze, this dark purpley situation. I'm gonna take this, and this is going to go on this part of my lid. I'm going to put a shade on top of it. So we're just going to work on blending this, and this is a very pretty shade. This is like a purple with blue glitter in there. Very, very pretty. And then I'm just going to flip my brush right over, and I am going to take the shade High Degree, which is the red, and I'm going to take this on the top part of my lid. Now, a sane person would have done that shade first, but you know, it's me. So we're just gonna do what you do, do. And then I'm just gonna go back and forth between the two sides of my brush and just kind of hope to get this blended. I'm also going to take the darkest brown matte brush, and I'm just going to kind of diffuse that upper part, the red. I don't want it to be as cut creasy as it has kind of made itself, and that's not working. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean this brush off on my color switch and just work on getting all three of these babies to melt. I think this look is not bad at all. Then I'm going to go into the shade Bliss, which is the lightest red. Sorry, my camera is messing with me. This shade right here. Is that a true? I'll have it on the screen somehow, I think. I don't know. And then this is going to be popped in my inner corner. Oh, that was supposed to be a red. This is a green. Oh, this palette has some tricks up its sleeve. Okay. I'm mad at this at all. Not at all. So now time to do my lower lash line, and what I'm going to do is go into Deep Dive, which is the darkest shade I used in this palette. That's going to go right along my lower lash line. Then I am going to take the darkest matte that I used, which is Magma. And then I'm just going to wash all of that off with a dab of Ridge. And Ridge will just help to connect everything up to the top. So this is the finished look. Looking in my viewfinder, I can't tell if you guys can truly see what's going on my eye. I can't say I'm disappointed. I definitely found all the color that is associated in this palette, and I think I was really able to deepen out my outer V kind of like I enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off camera. I'm probably going to do a winged liner. I'm going to do something in my waterline mascara, and I'm going to do this eye as well, and then I will be back to kind of give you my first impressions on this palette and kind of talk a little bit more. So I will be right back. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. Alrighty guys, so I really enjoy how this look kind of pulled together. I think that I was able to pull together all of the kind of actual colors that are presented in this palette and create kind of really a cohesive look. I am right now slightly disappointed in the mattes. I feel as though I felt like the mattes were gonna just give me more than they have. Thus far, I've only tried two of the mattes. I tried the one kind of satiny shade, and that really kind of saved this look in my opinion. Without that matte or that satin shade to really deepen out my crease, I felt like this look was just going to be super flat and very dependent on the lid shades. The shimmers are okay. They're not as foiled and metallic as the shades that I have experienced in my previous Natasha Denona palette. But that being said, I did not use the more foily looking shades. The more foily looking shades are actually these two, and of course my camera is completely washing this coloring out, but they're the more gold shades, the more standard shades, and they do look a lot more foiled even in the pan than the shades that I used. I think the shades that I used today were just more metallics, and these are going to be more foiled metallics. I am going to do more looks with this palette. I just wanted to do a kind of a first impressions and actually get this out tomorrow, which is my normal upload day, which is Friday. So I pushed back the video that I was going to upload today. Just excited. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys kind of, well, no, I think that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're wondering what's on my lips, I used MAC's Ruby Woo with Chestnut to outline and kind of deepen out this lip color a little bit. I thought it would be really cool to bring out the red in on my lid shade, and I put a yellow liner from ColourPop to pull out the yellow, not from ColourPop, from Linda Hallberg. This is in Happy Mood, to pull out the kind of yellow finish from my inner corner. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, y'all, I will see you